This is a Pele Media podcast.
Welcome back to Goonies Minute, everybody. Goonies Minute is the fan podcast where we explore the movie Goonies minute by minute. I'm Brady.
And this is Chris.
And today we are here to bring you minute number 35. Chris, how you doing?
Just spent a lovely weekend in Montague, Louisiana at a friend's camp. And I'm just going to say right now that there is nobody in the world that's better at talking about catching fish than me. I'm really good at talking about it, but
not so much at doing it.
The luck of the stick in the line in the water with the bait has not been too good lately. But
well, you can.
It was a nice weekend anyway.
Yeah, fun times.
Pretty neat.
Fun times.
Hey, you want to get into the minute?
Let's get into the minute. In the previous minute, we saw Mikey narrowly escape being spotted by Jake. As Jake left, Mikey reached for a broomstick to push the tray of food closer to the man chained to a chair. At 35 minutes, Mikey takes the broomstick and nudges the tray forward. At 35 minutes and 6 seconds, the man hears the tray and begins to turn around. At 35 minutes and 10 seconds, Mikey looks up to see the face of the man. We can barely make out the man's deformities. At 35 minutes and 11 seconds, the man reaches down and grabs the tray. He waves it over his head triumphantly. Mikey takes off down the hall in a panic. At 35 minutes and 20 seconds, Mikey makes it to the top of the stairs only to be grabbed by Brand. Brand turns him around and throws him over his shoulder and tells the other Goonies to follow him out of the building. At 35 minutes and 33 seconds, Ma Fratelli runs after the gang, telling them to get out and stay out. At 35 minutes and 40 seconds, Ma Fratelli slams the door shut and leans against it. She sighs and says, "Kids suck." At 35 minutes and 48 seconds, we cut to the Goonies standing around outside. Mikey is excitedly trying to explain what he had seen in the basement. None of them are buying it. And thus ends minute 35 of the Goonies. All right, so this minute kind of ends this sequence that we've been going through for the last bit, and that is the guys being stuck in the restaurant, and then Mikey going down and witnessing sloth for the first time. And we have the return of Brand, who sort of changes up the whole thing. Now we finally get out of the restaurant, and the adventure continues.
I think I've mentioned before how much I love Sloth's voice.
Yeah.
And I love it to a detriment sometimes to the people around me that know that I can be annoying. And because that I know that they know that I can be annoying, sometimes that voice comes out too often. Or actually, it doesn't come out a lot, but when it does, I beat it to death. Mm-hmm. So, like, this minute starts with, "Food, please, please." I love that. And it's really just a disgusting, almost like, how can somebody make their voice sound like that? But he's a monster.
That's right.
And God, I love that voice. But for being such a monster, he has animal qualities. So one of the animal qualities he has is the slightest noise he's going to pick up on. So when Mikey starts pushing that tray of food, just the slightest noise, he's like, "Huh? He starts looking around.
Yeah.
And one thing that we talked about the creation of Jake and whether or not that's one of the FBI agents. So one thing that I did is I watched it slowly and I paused it and I tried to see what if I could make out any of the delicacies of the creation that could be on that tray.
Did you see anything?
And I'm almost 100% positive that it's fake food because it.
Well, yeah.
But it's not even necessarily good fake food. But the closest thing that I saw to anything that there was a large bone on there,
really,
or fake looking bone, but it didn't look big enough to be a femur, which is what I was.
Still.
But it could have been one of the like a forearm bone. No, it wouldn't be a forearm bone. It could have been like, I don't know what the name of the bone is. It goes from the shoulder to the elbow.
Me neither.
But that bone is the closest it could have been to a human bone. Other than that, it's animal.
Yeah, the fact that there's a bone on there at all is
But here's
scary.
the thing. This is so disappointing. That bone didn't have any flesh on it.
Yeah.
So maybe Jake was such a kind man that he had already taken the meat off the bone for it.
I wouldn't put it past Jake to have eaten it. Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's a psychopath, but I don't know.
Not cannibal, not yet.
He's not. Was it Dahmer's the one that either Dahmer or Bundy did that?
Okay. Well, did you see? I thought I saw like red potatoes on there.
And I
or
saw
those
that
beets
and
something.
or a whole purple onion.
Yeah. Which looked pretty good.
It didn't look too good to me.
No, not your thing.
I don't know. I don't know. They did a great job with that, but with the details of the stuff on it.
Well, that's good that they didn't. The fact that we're talking about it 30 some odd years later is a testament.
Yeah.
So we also get the return of Bran, like I said. Now, whenever we cut to, and this kind of getting ahead of myself in a minute, whenever we're outside and Mikey is telling everybody about Sloth and what he saw, Bran is sitting there listening to him. If I was Bran, I would have been dragging all those old dudes back to the house right then, because he just, almost died trying to find him.
Well, I have that right at the end. I said, one of the notes I said is think of Bran's situation. Is he hurt? What has he gone through to get to this point? And he doesn't believe Mikey either. You can tell at this point he doesn't believe him. But, you would think he would have at least some injuries or something at this point.
Yeah.
And they just kind of gloss over that. But I do want to go back a little bit because we jumped to the end. But I wanted to go back. The horror that Mikey's face shows when he sees Sloth's face for the first time.
Yeah.
They zoom in and he gets real big eyes and the shock. Can you imagine being in that situation?
Nope.
And seeing that guy, just the feeling that you would have. The horror of looking at that face to face.
And the sound, like you mentioned, the sound earlier, the audio of Sloth's noise, is scary enough. In fact, it might maybe even scarier when you don't have something to match it to. We don't see his face up until this point, and now both of them combined is just pretty terrifying. So, that camera pushes in on Mikey, and the music swells and everything, and it's a moment. You're coming face to face with this,
How elated
Sloth.
is Sloth when Sloth gets that food?
I know.
The laugh that he does, though, is like, it's not necessarily even a scary laugh. Ha ha ha! He's just so excited.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. And then running back, can you imagine also Mikey is looking back.
Yeah.
And when Brant grabs him, I'm sure that just scared the hell out of him.
Yeah. Because it's like we were talking about the other day. I would be more afraid of what's in front of me than what's behind me. For some reason, I am more afraid of Jake than I am Sloth.
And right now, what's behind you. Sloth's tied up.
That's true. Yeah.
He's chained, so there's really not much. Another thing that I wanted to think about that I would love to know the situation of Bran showing up at this restaurant.
Yes. Okay, I was going to ask.
We don't really see that. Did he knock on the door? Did he barge in?
Right. Did he come in from another area? Because did the kids look surprised when they see him?
Right. Well, we don't know. We don't know. He might have already addressed the kids. But did Ma Fratelli not see him until he was taking him out? Did he have a confrontation with Ma Fratelli at the door first and said, y'all got to get out of here? We really don't know. All I know is that when Bran starts saying, we got to get you out of here, that's when Ma Fratelli says, get out.
Yeah, so he very well may have shown up. She answers the door and he says, hey, there are little kids here because I need to take them home.
Yeah, they're causing trouble. You got to get out.
Yeah, so there could have been that. And then, or he just, I always kind of took it as though he came in from another entrance, but I don't know why I'm taking that from it.
And the other thing is when Mikey is trying to describe to the kids and Bran what's going on, he says they've got an it.
Yeah, his face is all deformed and everything. Yeah, just the fact that Bran is even giving Mikey the time to talk is, I have a little brother, and if I knew that he had been, out running around when Mom told him not to be, and then I had faced death in going to get him, I would have been dragging his ass back to the house. Here's another case of Mikey telling a story that the rest of the gang isn't believing, and I don't know that they're not believing.
No, they're not. And no, look at Chunk.
Yeah,
he's like he even starts to either shake his head or
yeah.
Chunk, but then again, Chunk's not thinking right now, oh, there's a monster downstairs. He's thinking there's just a bunch of murderers.
Yeah.
Or a bunch of criminals.
Yeah.
So that's what he's more focused on at the time. But notice how we haven't heard much from Mouth in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we haven't heard much from Mouth, and he's just kind of saying, and that's more Mouth style, I think, is just a little more chill. But, Yeah.
So that's pretty much all I have for the minute, Brady.
Yeah, same here. So I tell you what, if that's all that we have, then we will go ahead and reconvene here tomorrow for minute number 36. And until then, this is Brady.
And this is Chris.
And we're here to remind you that Goonies never say die. Goonies Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the show, then leave us a review on iTunes. You can find us at GooniesMinute.com, Facebook.com/GooniesMinute, Twitter.com/GooniesMinute, and at Instagram at GooniesMinute. You can contact us at GooniesMinute@gmail.com. You've been listening to a Pele Media podcast. For premium content and exclusive podcasts, visit us at patreon.com/Pele Media. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Pele Media and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/Pele Media.